Hey, what's up? First off, really cool Animal Crossing shirt I got in Japan. But that's besides the point. So in the last episode I talked about building the whole SGB document RAG pipeline thing. It's more of an MVP, minimum viable product. I don't think it's a startup thing, so I guess we'll just like I feel it's more like a demo, it's like a rough outline to build upon, or just like a rough draft. But yeah, I think the next step there, the next logical step at least, is really just to get it for people to try. I really want to hand it over to my teammates at SGB for them to try, because they have more experience than SGB. Also, I wonder what questions they'll ask it, and just to see like maybe they have some ideas to see how I can make this more of use. Another aspect I think I talked about this here, I want to try and train or try and train an AI on allocation request. And for those who don't know, who didn't watch the previous episode, what I'm doing right now is I'm working on a small project that basically, as part of SGB's executive board, student government board, executive board, what I do, one of the roles I have as part of the team is to, um, if a club wants more than $2,000, we have to look at the request, and then we as a team have to approve the request. So I want to make it so that each club has the best resources at their disposal to make sure they can make the best request possible. So I'll be like, oh, let me just use like a RAG pipeline to do that, like a RAG pipeline, retrieval augmented generation. Basically, hey, it takes the documents that we wanted to take and uses solely those documents, kind of like that. Like it extracts from those documents to make its answers. I think that's probably the best way I can explain it. Hopefully that's correct. But that's basically what I'm working on now, and I really want to train. I want to take it also another step further in terms of like training AI models, so I can train off the previous request and maybe like give clubs a good idea if it's gonna get approved or not. Even though that's very tricky because interpretation of laws is different per the board of the year. But that's besides that. Right now, what I think I want to do, I'm going to try work on that more. It's not like the main project of the summer, but it is something I'm really happy that is. I have like a, I don't know, it's just cool to have. Yeah, like in my head, I have a rag pipe. I've been like saying rag for like a long time now. So to at least experiment rag in any depth is really, really awesome on my end. But I think what I want to do now is I'm going to do some secret website stuff. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but um, probably just chill. Like once again, I said this is May, so in June I'm gonna be starting the internship at UL Standards Engagement. Thank the Lord, really cool company, really cool team. Um, so I'm gonna be doing that. So I'm just gonna chill. I'm thinking of getting Marvel Rivals because this laptop apparently can run games really well. So on one hand, I really want to get Marvel Rivals, but I'm just too lazy to set up the PS4 controller thing because I don't play with keyboards. Um, I just don't. I don't see how people enjoy it personally. Like the only time I can play with my keyboard is if it's like the ice cream game on like two-player games. But that's besides the point. Just gonna chill, maybe play some Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley. Um, but yeah. Also another thing I'm thinking of doing is getting like more notebooks to actually like work. So like this was a notebook I got for my last exam because I need like a notebook to write down each subtopic. Um, but this is a notebook I got. I'm thinking to myself like the more I tackle these new AI like these new topics I want to learn that I don't learn in class, I actually do think I need notebooks. I actually do think paper notebooks are just much more useful in my opinion. I feel like when you write a paper and you feel that friction, it's much more I don't know if it's muscle memory, but I feel like it just enters my head much faster versus when you're doing it on an iPad, it feels like it's easy. It just feels like you getting lost in the process and like it, there's less I don't know, there's less interaction, I guess. So I really want to try doing getting like more notebooks just for when I'm learning like new computing programming topics. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I was trying when I started this video, I had like a clear idea, then that whole idea just vanished. But I do think it's very exciting. I do really want to become more technical. I think that's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I feel like when it comes to my leadership aspects or my research aspects, I'm in a really good space. That's like increasing really fast. But I feel like my technical stuff, they've also increased, but not as much as I like. I really just want to continue that growth. I think a lot of it is that I don't have that confidence in the technical aspect as much as I should have. I have done some cool. Technically, I've won the hackathon, which is I don't know. I say technical, it's like there was a DEI track, diversity, equity, and inclusion track. I know, like in today's climate, that doesn't sound as that sounds very controversial, which is kind of stupid if you think about it. But won that technically because like there wasn't that many people who were competing, but we did have a very cool project, which was Polypicker. Basically, just compares politicians who are running in an election, just gives you like their baseline information and just says, okay, here's the information. You can make your judgment from there. And the whole idea was to use Gemini because I think Google had like something with like, oh, hey, use our AI, so we use that. Um, really cool stuff. But I don't know. I just like I think a lot of it is like I think there's this duality with it because I do admit I think I do a lot of like programming when it comes with AI. Like actually, say ChatGPT, help me code this. I think that's where the lack of confidence comes in. Ultimately, I think it's a weird thing. Because I was thinking about it like a couple of minutes ago. But in high school, vibe code, like what we refer to as vibe coding, was not very uh, I think was more frowned upon in general. I think it's really interesting. It's like vibe code. It wasn't even a term, right? Vibe coding was not a term, but now being a term, it feels very official. It feels very I don't want to say standardized. Maybe like it feels more official, and I feel like companies are actually now looking for that vibe coding skills, and there is benefits to that. So I feel like it's weird. I don't want to be a vibe coder. I feel like that's lame. I do want to have the technical expertise to know how to move around, but I also want to take the benefits of the vibe coding to like oh no I'm not gonna say vibe coding. I want to take the benefits of working with AI like okay, hey, teach me this, help me write this, save me time, let me keep me in this lock in the state. And it's really like as much as I say there's a balance, it's really hard to keep that balance of like how much do you offset to the AI, how much do you do yourself. And like there's you obviously like you have to be a project manager or a product manager, whatever. But I think like you it's so hard because like sometimes you don't know what task you don't know what roadblocks are could have been what led you to learn a new thing, right? So some maybe when you offset a task to an AI, that could have been the very thing that allowed you to like learn a new topic and master it. And I think that's what disturbs me so much. I think that's like the biggest thorn in my side when it comes to confidence in my coding skills, which is I don't know. I think it's something I'm thinking more and more about. I think it really just comes more with experience. Like this ragpipe, I don't think I'll be able like just like if I was stranded on this desert island, no access to internet or anything, I don't think I'll be able to build it. But then again, to be fair, I couldn't probably build it because it uses an API to OpenAI. So technically, I had no internet. I don't think that would work. But I also think the goal of programming is not just like memorization. To be honest, it's much more. There's a lot of programming that goes like you have to like look up how to do something. I think the goal of it is to get the job done and know what you need to get done and like how to plan it out. I think that's something I'm still learning. Like I understand that, but I don't understand it. I know it, but I don't understand it. I think that's the best way to phrase it. I think something that I'm working more and more on. Um, but yeah, just really excited. Obviously, as my job is coming up, I want to do more lead code stuff just so I can like I don't know. I have the internship. I do think I still just want to continue grinding those technical skills, and obviously I do think work on projects is gonna help me more in the long run. But you know, never hurts to have some lead code locked in. But yeah, let me see if there's anything else. Apartment stuff almost close to closing the deal. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Besides that, though, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.